Imagine this. You've been living in the same home for 20 years, and suddenly, the government sends you a bill so outrageous, it feels less like paying taxes and more like a ransom note. That's property taxes in America. A system so broken, so confusing, and so unfair that it makes the rules of Scientology look like a simple toaster manual. And right now, that system, it's on fire. Across the country, home values have skyrocketed. That sounds good, right? More equity, more wealth on paper. But then, the tax bill shows up, and it charges you penthouse-level taxes for the same 3-bedroom ranch you've lived in forever. People are furious. And states, they're scrambling. But instead of fixing the mess, many are throwing gasoline on the flames. Take Montana. They decided to reinvent the entire thing with what they call a graduated property tax. It's like income tax, but for your house. The first $400,000 of value gets taxed at a low rate, but if your home's worth over $1.5 million, boom, you pay more than double. Sounds fair in theory, but in Montana, that basically means anyone with a fancy ski lodge and a goat milking station gets hit. Revolutionary idea. Or something cooked up after one too many college dorm debates. You decide. Now, North Dakota took it even further. They said, what if we just didn't? That's right. They put a measure on the ballot to eliminate property taxes entirely. Just erase them. Their plan? Replace over $3 billion in revenue with oil money. That's the fiscal equivalent of quitting your job to become a professional gambler because you won $50 on a scratch-off ticket. Predictably, it failed. But the fact that they even tried shows just how angry people are. Meanwhile, states like Colorado, Georgia, and Florida are getting crushed. Homeowners in Colorado, property taxes have jumped more than 50% since 2019. In Georgia, 52%. Florida, 38%. And remember, these aren't small numbers. We're talking thousands of extra dollars for the same exact house you've lived in for decades. And then there's California. Always California. They've mastered generational inequality with their infamous Proposition 19. Here's how it works. If you inherit your parents' house but don't move in right away, your tax bill doesn't just go up, it explodes. From $500 a year to $25,000. Overnight. It's basically, sorry for your loss, now get out. But it gets weirder. If you're over 55, you can actually sell your house, buy a bigger one, and keep your old tax rate. And you can do this 3 times. So a boomer in Palo Alto can sell their $4 million shack, buy a $5 million mansion, and still pay taxes like it's 1978. Meanwhile, the young family who buys their old house, they're paying 50 times more. Cliffhanger end. This isn't just unfair, it's a system actively designed to punish the next generation. And California's not alone. Because if you think that's bizarre, wait until you hear what Florida and Texas came up with. Stick with me. Part 2 will show you how states are throwing billions at this problem, and why it still isn't working. In Part 1, we saw how states like Montana and California turned property taxes into a circus of chaos. But here's the wild part. The story gets even crazier. Because other states aren't fixing the system, they're duct taping it together with ideas so ridiculous, you'll wonder if anyone's actually in charge. Take Florida. Their big fix. Tie one of their homestead exemptions to inflation. That's it. They just now realized that money changes value over time. Congratulations, Florida. Welcome to the 1970s. Then there's Texas. They're throwing $50 billion at the problem by raising the exemption from $100,000 to $140,000. Sounds like savings, but it's really the political equivalent of dad yelling about the electric bill, and instead of turning off lights, just slapping it on a new credit card. But Ohio might be my favorite. Turns out, school districts there have been stockpiling your tax money. Cash reserves tripled in just a decade. From $3.6 billion to over $10 billion. And while they're sitting on piles of cash, they're still asking voters for more money. That's like your teenager begging for allowance while hiding wads of cash under the mattress. The state finally had to pass a law forcing schools to give some of it back if they hoard too much. Step back and look at this mess. It's a Jenga tower of loopholes, handouts, and half-baked reforms. At its core, the system punishes you for living in a better community. If your home value goes up, your taxes explode, and suddenly you can't even afford to stay in your own house. What you can do. So what can you do? First, check your state's new rules, because they're changing constantly and often based on political dares. Second, always appeal your property tax assessment. Always. Because the truth is, the person deciding what your home is worth might have been guessing. And a lot more people win those appeals than you'd think. And here's the kicker. As of 2025, some counties in Pennsylvania haven't reassessed property values since 1972. That means there are people living in million-dollar mansions, paying taxes based on valuations set when The Godfather was in theaters and gas was 36 cents a gallon. The system isn't just broken. In some places, it's literally frozen in time. So after all of this, after watching states scramble with insane fixes and loopholes, maybe the only way to survive is to flip the game. Instead of letting property taxes drain you, you invest in property that pays you. Because in a world this upside down, becoming a landlord might just be the least worst option. Thanks for watching, and if you thought this was wild, wait until you see what's happening next in the housing market. Click the video on screen, and I'll see you there. We've seen how property taxes have become a nationwide circus. Montana experimenting with graduated taxes, California punishing heirs, Florida tying exemptions to inflation, and Texas throwing billions at the wall. But here's the thing nobody tells you. The real crisis isn't just the tax bill. It's what these broken systems are doing to communities. Think about it. Rising property taxes don't just hit homeowners, they reshape entire neighborhoods. Retirees who plan to live out their days in the same home are suddenly priced out. Young families who scrape together enough to buy a starter home, they're slammed with a tax bill double what their neighbor pays for the exact same floor plan. And renters, when landlords get crushed by taxes, guess who ends up paying the difference? That's right, tenants. So whether you own or rent, you're caught in the same storm. The biggest frustration: generational unfairness. Longtime owners often pay a fraction of what newcomers pay. Imagine two identical homes, side by side. One family bought in 1985, the other in 2020. Same street, same schools, same services. But one pays $1,000 a year, the other pays $15,000. That doesn't just feel unfair. It drives inequality across generations. And let's be honest, politicians know this. That's why so many reforms feel like patchwork. One group gets a carve-out, another gets a loophole. Over 55 homeowners get special breaks. School districts stash cash reserves. And the cycle repeats. It's not about fixing the foundation. It's about keeping just enough people quiet so the system. So where does that leave you? Two things. First, knowledge is power. You can appeal your assessment. You can track local ballot measures. You can push for transparency, especially when school boards or city councils pretend they're broke while sitting on reserves. Second, think long-term. If owning a home feels impossible, consider investing differently. Maybe it's rental property, maybe it's partnerships, maybe it's finding markets where taxes haven't gone off the rails yet. Because while the system may be unfair, people who understand the game usually come out ahead. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Property taxes were supposed to build better communities. But somewhere along the way, they became a punishment for living in them. So the question isn't just, how much will I pay this year? The real question is, how long can the system keep standing before people refuse to play? And when that moment comes, you'll want to be ready. Thanks for sticking with me through this 3-part series. If you found it eye-opening, check out the next video on screen, because trust me, the housing market roller coaster is far from over.